welcome back to our channel. Today's video is the second episode of the Knitworthy Podcast. After 2 months, we didn't mean for it to go that long, but we really appreciate all the love we got from our first episode and everyone's comments and subscribers. All the love. We were just really taken aback by how much the influx of people and interaction we were having on our channel. We're really just cultivating the community that we wanted to make with our channel. So it's so fun. All of our crafty friends on the internet, we're so happy that you are joining us again, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. So let's get into all of our finished objects and reads and everything, all of our hobbies from November mostly. Yeah, to make up for the lost time, we're going to have a sort of extra episode of a hobby chat for the holidays that's separate from this in our Days of December series. So right now we're just going to chat about all the things we finished in end of October, November. So starting with knitting and crocheting. Yeah, the first thing I finished in knitting was what I was working on last time we chatted, and it's this grandpa sweater, which very Rainbow Lupin vibes. It's really nice. I love the big pockets, and it's very, very warm. I can wear this on all the really cold mornings, and it keeps me so nice and toasty. The only thing is I wish I hadn't blocked it because it was such a hassle to block, and it didn't even like fix the rolling on the button band because there really is no button band. So there's a lot of rolling happening there, and the blocking didn't even fix it, but I think I might have burned it or something, and I might have made this stripe when I blocked it, which is kind of annoying, but yeah. And then the neckline is one of these folded necklines, which was a lot of work. It was very difficult. I've only done this once before, but this time it was just more difficult for some reason. I don't know why, but it was worth it because it really makes this nice mock neck feature, which I like, and I think it adds to the grandpa effect. I told you this last time, but I'll just tell you again. This is the Nature's Cardigan by Ozetta, and I made it out of 100% lamb's wool undyed from my mom's stash. And I actually went down one size in needles to pin gauge. I don't know what size it was that I used. I just know that I went down one size from the required size on the pattern. And yeah, it came out with this really nice hardy wool sweater that I've really been enjoying. And then for pretty much the entire month of October/November, I was going a little bit crazy because I started a sweater and it was supposed to be for my birthday, and then everything was just going wrong. The pattern was not working for me. I don't even remember what pattern it was. I might have paid money for it, which is a bad idea if that's true, but the yarn, I wasn't liking the yarn, I wasn't liking the pattern, so I just ended up ripping it out. I was all the way done with the body and was starting like the yoke part, and I had to rip it all out, which was really sad. But then, so while I was brainstorming a new idea for projects, I was just starting to go crazy because we were watching stuff and I had nothing to do with my hands, and I was just like stir crazy. So to take up the time in between projects, it was around the All Souls Day, All Saints Day festivities of November, so I decided to do this little coloring sheet from St. Anne's Helper, which was so fun and so satisfying. I did it with colored pencils, and I just love this picture because it has all the saints' name around the edge, so it was kind of meditative because I could see who was who and like be like, oh, why are they holding this in their hand? Oh, because it's this saint and they, you know, are a martyr or something like that. So it was a nice little All Saints Day activity to do. And then I also did, for the month of October, which is the month of the rosary, I crocheted a rosary, and I love it. I just did it with some scrap acrylic yarn. I used Claire Olivia Golden's pattern. I think I used 2.5mm hook, and I kind of improvised the size of the beads because she gives you a general outline of the beads, and I just improvised to make it the size I wanted because I kind of wanted smaller beads. And then yeah, I sort of improvised the whole structure of doing the rosary, but it came out so good that when I showed it to my little nephew, he looked at it and went, oh, is this a rosary? It's incredible. And I was just like the next thing that I finished in November, at the end of November, is this cross stitch, which I've been working on for a really long time. I started it last year and then didn't get to finish it because I just really wanted it to be an autumn project. I wanted to be working on it in autumn because to me Harry Potter is very quintessentially autumn. So I just put it away after Thanksgiving last year and took it out again in October this year, and finally got around to finishing it, which it really just came out beautiful. I love all the colors, and working with all these beautiful fall tones of green and burgundy and brown was so nice, and it really did take a lot of time. It was very time consuming, but very satisfying to watch it all come out. And yeah, this is from a kit on Amazon, which I actually ended up having to get 2 of the kits because the thread ran out halfway through. But I feel like that's some sort of marketing ploy. Yeah, honestly, not enough material, so you have to buy 2. But yeah, there's a lot of kits like this on Amazon if you're interested, and they are very beautiful. And cross stitching isn't very hard. It just kind of it can be tedious at times, and it is time consuming, but it's not very hard. So it's nice if you're looking for something easy and just that you can maybe work on it every day, and that will come out very slowly and beautifully. The next project that I made was this sweater that I'm wearing right now, and I started this at around December or November 10th, so I had a month to make it before my birthday, which is on December 10th, and I love it. It's from Fable Knitwear Diagon Alley Jumper. That's the name of the pattern, and I didn't use the yarn that they suggested. I just used 100% acrylic Karen Simply Soft yarn because I liked this colorway, and it ended up coming out perfect. I did a gauge swatch, and it seemed like my gauge was a little bit smaller than theirs, but I was just like, I don't really care. I just casted it on anyway, and God really pulled through. It ended up fitting perfectly. Like, I don't have any sweater that fits this perfectly, and I just love the high neck, the little ruche sleeves, and then the perfect croppedness. I'll probably overlay like a little video of it, but I wore it on my birthday, and there wasn't a second of like the anxiety of I'm not going to finish this in time, like freak out that I usually get when I set a deadline for my patterns or my projects. So that was just, God really pulled through for this sweater. Like, I love the yarn and the colorway. I love really everything about it. And yeah, this yarn just really says cello to me because yellow is one of the colors that I really associate with myself for some reason.
It really does look like honeycomb. Like, it's just
yeah, that's what it's called.
Blend of yellows.
And I said in our birthday video that I attempted to make a sweater like this before. I tried to adapt it from a really old vintage pattern into my size and into a yarn that I was making, and it almost worked, but it just didn't quite work, and it was in this really scratchy wool, and I just didn't like it. So this really fulfilled my childhood dreams that I had when I was first starting knitting. Oh, and also I paid for this pattern, which one of the first patterns I've actually paid for, and really reaped the benefits of paying for a pattern because it was a wonderfully made pattern. First time I ever knit raglan, which I said in the last podcast that I had never knit raglan before. Did it, and I love it. Bella was right. It's just as good as everyone says it is. It's really easy, barely any seaming. All I had to do is seam the underarms, and yeah, really quick, and loved it. So the next thing that I just recently finished is this little baby Guernsey sweater. It's just a bunch of kind of faux cables and stitch patterns that are really satisfying to work on because you just follow the pattern row by row and it comes out in this beautiful texture. I just used scrap yarn from a sweater that I had knit previously in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, and it was very enjoyable to work on. Just a little sweater. Baby clothes is always very satisfying because it's so little that it's just like fast, but you're still finishing an entire sweater. And it's also very cute just to see a little tiny sweater like this. But yeah, the pattern is called Easy Baby Errand by Sarah Hoffman, and I used needles size 7 and 5 US. Yeah, and it was just easy and fun and cute. I think that's all we're talking about for knitting and crocheting. So just all of our needlework from this last month. So going into reading. So at the beginning of November, Bella listened to and I read The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. And this book is honestly such a good middle grade book. It's a gripping story about 4 children who are chosen to sort of face an evil plot against truth and freedom in the world. And the way this plot is coming about is through like brainwashing from TV and things that are kind of real in today's day and age, like
It's like media brainwashing.
like the innocence and love of truth from these children combats the evil of all the lies coming in from,
and they're all very smart and gifted, so it's kind of funny and quirky.
Yeah,
and
even though it'll get like thrilling and kind of like spooky at some parts, the characters all give it this
funny,
carefree,
lighthearted feel to the story.
You feel like you're part of their club. So it's a really, really fun read. I gave that 5 stars because it's really truth, beauty, and goodness in the end, and it had a very good ending, and I just liked all the characters.
Yeah, lots of twists.
Yeah.
Very page-turning. Great mystery. And then I, at the beginning of this month, finished the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. But I don't know who's by. But the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, which is a pretty famous book. There's a Netflix movie on it, which doesn't really go to the book at all, really. But I got recommended to read this by Natalie, who commented on one of our videos. So thank you for that recommendation, because it was very good, and it brought me so much joy in early November just reading it, because the characters are so funny, and it's this this book club after World War II, and this writer who's writing about the book club and who comes to join their kind of friendship and family on the island of Guernsey. And there's just so much wholesome, funny joy in the book. I don't know how to describe it, but it's just it really made me happy, and it really made me feel like I was part of their friendship and part of their family in the book.
So those are both 5-star reads, I would say.
That's very
and
good.
then I'm just gonna really briefly talk about the 3rd book in the Janet Oakes series that I'm reading, The Winds of Autumn. So it's the seasonal series that I talked about last time, and this is just the main character, Josh, is starting to mature, and he's learning the importance of having ordered priorities and defending his faith. He's starting to realize that there's going to be things that test his faith in God and things like that. So as he matures, he's starting to really commit to life's trials, and he sort of goes through the autumn of his life. So that's, I think, why it was called The Winds of Autumn. And yeah, I just love reading Janet Oakes' writing. It always just gives me a sense of hygge.
For the rest of November, I read the entire Little House on the Prairie series, which was it's kind of an autobiographical read, because it's written by Laura Ingalls, and it's about her family as homesteaders and farmers in prairie times, and it was really enjoyable, because all of the books go through their daily routines, and it's just very real, because it's really about real routines in real life and them kind of finding their way in early America. And it just really glorified the mundane and domestic tasks and family life and everything like that, and it's just really cozy. They have Christmas descriptions that are so cozy and snowing and cozy, just household hygge moments that I really, really enjoyed reading about in this. And yeah, the whole series, it shows her growing up all the way to her getting married and having her own children throughout the series. And it was just really nice to be with her, witnessing her entire growth and maturity as during this time that's so foreign to me, who has so many, just like a heater and luxuries like that right at my fingertips, and they had to really work for everything in their life. It was really just enlightening and educational, and also cozy and hygge, really nice.
So the next book that I read, I've been wanting to read this for a long time, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, famous classic. Is just as good as everyone tells you it is. It really highlights the true riches of life, because they're living in poverty, and it also displays different dispositions of women and the different paths that each person can take in life, or each woman. And yeah, each sister just shows their own emotions and story, and it's just so satisfying to see their lives play out. And it really, honestly, something that's not shown a lot in the movies, which I can understand because the movie would be pretty long if they had this, but at the end of every chapter of Little Women, it's like the mom or someone will give a little sermon about that chapter and what they learned from it, and it always says something about God, and it's just so wholesome and it's inspiring. It was really so hygge to read throughout the month of November because I was just in the doldrums of doing school and things like that, and reading those little like pick-me-up chapters and it's the perfect amount entertaining and wholesome and nurturing your soul. So I just really loved this read. I love this book, so that's a solid 5-star, and I'm really excited to rewatch the movie because the movie is pretty well adapted.
The new one that just came out is very artistic and also goes to the book pretty
well.
As well
as you can expect a movie of this day and age to be.
It's just a beautiful movie, so highly recommend that.
And then both of us read
With Us Today by John A. Hardin, which is a book on the true presence of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. I recommend that every Catholic read this book. It's
every person, honestly, like it's so vivifying, or like just gives you so much conviction in the true presence and makes you want to just sit in front of Jesus all day in the church
and go and receive him, because it's
incredible.
Most precious gift of mankind that we have Jesus here with us, and it's very underappreciated, especially in today's day and age. So this book really just put into words
the unimaginable gift of the true presence in the Eucharist, and the fact that we can visit Jesus at any time we want, and how he humbles himself, and his charity and all of the virtues that he's showing to us and teaching to us, and
here in the Eucharist.
Yeah, we can just sit in his presence, and we're getting the graces from him just by being with him.
It's not a very hard read. It's almost like a meditation book, because you're just meditating on Jesus and his presence in the Eucharist, and how you can better appreciate his presence and just his gifts in general and his virtues.
And the more you read it, the more you just want to spend time with Jesus every day and
live out his virtues that he shows through the Eucharist. It's very hard-hitting, but also very simple.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
And honestly, it's a topic that's really hard to put into words because it's supernatural, so I really enjoyed it. And that's all our books and all our projects that we're going to talk about in this episode. We are going to have a little bonus episode or whatever for Days of December that's going to be talking about all our holiday activities and projects and reads.
So stay tuned for that.
And then just to catch you up on some of the little things that we've been doing before the Christmas
season. We were working on so much school, and it was all very overwhelming, but we did get some moments of repose and just joy. And we got to celebrate Thanksgiving, which was really nice. We made,
especially with our big family, Thanksgiving is something else.
It's one of the best times. It's really it's like the 4th of July of the winter and fall seasons. Really commences the holidays, and it this year it was no exception. It was really fun, and we made a Dutch apple pie, which came out so delicious.
I'm not even that big of an apple pie girl, but it was really good. I really like the crumble topping.
Our tradition is to make a new kind of apple pie every year. A salted caramel apple pie. We've made just like a normal lattice pie. We've made a pretzel apple pie, and this year we did Dutch apple pie, and it was so good.
So delicious. And just all the food was so delicious. The company, and it was just so festive and warm and nice. And then yeah, we went on a little vacation to Paso Robles with our parents, and
which is such a beautiful, quaint town,
wine country. So it's just really beautiful to see all the scenery around you, and
we got to go horseback riding, which was really nice.
That was so nice, and
we got some of the best margarita pizza I've ever had.
And all the food I had there were some of the best meals, like sliders, we got some hot chocolate from a little cafe that the whipped cream was up to the ceiling. It was so good.
And it had Christmas sprinkles on it. It was so nice.
Honestly, going on a trip like that, it was just something I really needed, because we were trying to get all ahead for school, and I was really getting caught up in the strenuousness of it and just taking a step back, and I needed to really take it literally and theoretically take a deep breath of fresh air and just calm down. So that really helped with, and now we're just getting into the swing of the holiday season. Today we went right into the thick of holiday shopping in TJ Maxx.
We got our Christmas dresses.
It was a zoo.
It was literally everyone and their mothers was there. We're really getting off topic here, but we found Glossier at TJ Maxx for $7.
Bomb.com.
We got every
shade.
The shades that they had, because we were just astonished that they had that there, but yeah, that's off topic, but just that's what we've been up to lately.
Yeah, and obviously if you want to see more of what we're up to, just go watch our Days of December vlogs. But that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We want to express again our gratitude for all your support,
all of your love, all of your comments. We really do read and appreciate every single comment, even if we don't get around to responding, which we always do try to respond. We just really want you to know how much we appreciate.
Yeah, and the knitting community is just such a nice, loving, supportive community, and we're so happy that you're subscribing and interacting with us. It's just exactly what we wanted when we started this channel. So
thank you so much for watching, and hope you guys come back for more.
Yeah.